In the chilling words of Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park,
life finds a way.
This sentiment takes on a far more ominous tone in the world of medicine, where bacteria are evolving to outsmart our most potent antibiotics. We're locked in a microscopic arms race against an invisible enemy that's becoming increasingly formidable. Today, we're delving into a stark forecast that has the medical community on high alert. Superbugs are projected to claim the lives of 40 million people by 2050, potentially ushering in a post-antibiotic era that threatens to unravel decades of medical progress. The rise of the superbugs. Picture a world where a minor scrape could lead to a life-threatening infection, or where routine surgeries become high-stakes gambles. This isn't the plot of a dystopian novel, but a looming reality as we grapple with the escalating threat of antimicrobial resistance. Superbugs, the colloquial term for these drug-resistant pathogens, are rapidly evolving to withstand our antibiotic arsenal, creating a global health crisis that demands immediate and concerted action. Recent research paints a grim picture of our future if current trends continue unchecked. The Global Research on Antimicrobial Resistance Project, in a groundbreaking study published in the Lancet, forecasts that by 2050, superbugs could directly cause nearly 2 million deaths annually. Even more alarming, these drug-resistant infections are projected to play a role in over 8 million deaths per year. To put this into perspective, that's more than the current annual death toll from cancer worldwide. The study's lead author, Dr. Mohsen Nagavi from the University of Washington, emphasizes the urgency of the situation. Antimicrobial medicines are one of the cornerstones of modern healthcare, and increasing resistance to them is a major cause for concern. This isn't a problem of the distant future. It's a crisis unfolding right now, with over 1 million people already dying each year due to drug-resistant infections. The evolution of superbugs is a testament to the adaptability of microorganisms. When exposed to antibiotics, bacteria that survive due to natural mutations can pass on their resistance genes to future generations or even to other bacterial species. This process, accelerated by the overuse and misuse of antibiotics in both human medicine and agriculture, has led to the emergence of pathogens that can withstand multiple types of antibiotics, the so-called superbugs. A tale of two demographics. Interestingly, the impact of AMR isn't uniform across age groups. The study reveals a stark contrast in how superbugs affect different generations. On one hand, there's a ray of hope. AMR-related deaths among children under 5 have seen a remarkable decline, dropping from 488,000 in 1990 to 193,000 in 2022. This positive trend is expected to continue, with projections suggesting these numbers could halve again by 2050. This decline is attributed to several factors, including improvements in vaccination programs, better hygiene practices, and enhanced access to clean water and sanitation, particularly in developing countries. It's a testament to the power of preventive healthcare and global health initiatives focused on child welfare. Vaccines, in particular, have played a crucial role in reducing bacterial infections in children, thereby decreasing the need for antibiotics and slowing the development of resistance. However, the picture is far less rosy for older adults. The study reports a staggering 80% increase in AMR fatalities among those over 70 in just 3 decades. Even more concerning, this number is expected to skyrocket by 146% by 2050, potentially reaching 1.3 million deaths annually in this age group alone. Dr. Tomislav Mestrovic, an assistant professor at University North in Croatia and affiliate associate professor at the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, explains this disparity. Approximately 3/4 of AMR infections are linked, for example, to hospital infections, and a rapidly aging population also necessitates more hospital care. Older adults, often dealing with multiple chronic conditions, are more susceptible to infections and have weaker immune responses to both pathogens and vaccines. Several factors contribute to this increased vulnerability in the elderly population. As we age, our immune systems naturally become less effective, a process known as immunosenescence. This makes older adults more susceptible to infections and less responsive to vaccines. Additionally, older individuals are more likely to have chronic conditions that require frequent medical interventions, increasing their exposure to healthcare-associated infections, many of which are caused by drug-resistant pathogens. The use of medical devices such as catheters and ventilators, more common in older patients, also increases the risk of infection. Furthermore, the physiological changes that come with aging can affect how drugs, including antibiotics, are metabolized and eliminated from the body, making it more challenging to treat infections effectively in this population. Global hotspots and inequalities. The burden of AMR isn't distributed equally across the globe. The study projects that the highest numbers of future deaths will occur in South Asian countries such as India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, as well as parts of Southern and Eastern Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. These regions have already experienced the highest growth in AMR and stand to benefit the most from improved infection care and wider access to antibiotics. This geographical disparity highlights the complex interplay between AMR and broader socioeconomic factors. In many of these high-risk areas, inadequate healthcare infrastructure, limited access to clean water and sanitation, and overuse or misuse of antibiotics create a perfect storm for the rise of superbugs. It's a stark reminder that the fight against AMR is inextricably linked to the broader fight against global inequality and poverty. In low and middle-income countries, the challenges are multifaceted. Weak regulatory systems may allow for over-the-counter sales of antibiotics, leading to their overuse and misuse. Limited access to healthcare means that when people do seek treatment, they may be more likely to have advanced infections that are harder to treat. Poor sanitation and crowded living conditions can facilitate the spread of resistant bacteria. Additionally, the lack of diagnostic facilities often leads to empirical antibiotic use, further driving resistance. The agricultural sector in these regions also plays a significant role in the AMR crisis. In many developing countries, antibiotics are widely used in livestock for growth promotion and disease prevention, a practice that has been linked to the development and spread of resistant bacteria. These resistant strains can then be transmitted to humans through the food chain or environmental contamination. Moreover, the global nature of travel and trade means that resistant bacteria can quickly spread across borders. A strain that develops resistance in one part of the world can rapidly become a global threat. This interconnectedness underscores the need for a coordinated global response to the AMR crisis. The economic burden of AMR. Beyond the devastating human toll, the rise of superbugs poses a significant economic threat. The World Bank has warned that AMR could have a similar impact on the global economy as the 2008 financial crisis. By 2050, AMR could cost the world up to $100 trillion in lost economic output if not addressed. The economic impact of AMR is multifaceted. There are direct healthcare costs associated with longer hospital stays, more expensive treatments, and the need for more intensive care. Then there are the indirect costs, such as lost productivity due to illness and premature deaths. In agriculture, the loss of antibiotic effectiveness could lead to decreased livestock production and increased food prices. Furthermore, many modern medical procedures rely on effective antibiotics to prevent post-operative infections. As antibiotics lose their efficacy, procedures such as organ transplants, cancer chemotherapy, and joint replacements become riskier and potentially unviable, further adding to the economic burden. The path forward: prevention, innovation, and global cooperation. While the forecast is dire, it's not a foregone conclusion. The study suggests that millions of deaths worldwide could be averted through better prevention of infections, improved access to health care, and the development of new antibiotics. This multi-pronged approach is crucial in turning the tide against AMR. Prevention remains our first line of defense. This includes not only continuing to improve vaccination programs and hygiene practices, but also addressing the root causes of AMR. Reducing the overuse of antibiotics in both human medicine and agriculture is critical. Education campaigns aimed at both healthcare providers and the general public can play a significant role in promoting responsible antibiotic use. In healthcare settings, improved infection control measures can help prevent the spread of resistant bacteria. This includes better hand hygiene, proper use of personal protective equipment, and effective environmental cleaning. Implementing antimicrobial stewardship programs in hospitals can ensure that antibiotics are used judiciously and appropriately. Innovation in drug development is equally vital. The pipeline for new antibiotics has slowed to a trickle in recent decades, largely due to economic disincentives for pharmaceutical companies. Developing new antibiotics is a costly and time-consuming process, and the returns on investment are often low because new antibiotics are typically held in reserve and used sparingly to prevent resistance from developing. To address this, new economic models for antibiotic development are being explored. These include push incentives such as grants and tax credits to support research and development, and pull incentives like market entry rewards or guaranteed purchases to make antibiotic development more attractive to pharmaceutical companies. Beyond traditional antibiotics, researchers are also exploring alternative approaches to combat bacterial infections. These include bacteriophage therapy, which uses viruses that infect bacteria, antimicrobial peptides, which are part of the innate immune system of many organisms, and strategies to disrupt bacterial communication and virulence without killing the bacteria outright, potentially slowing the development of resistance. Lastly, global cooperation is non-negotiable in this fight. AMR knows no borders, and neither should our response. The upcoming United Nations General Assembly high-level meeting on AMR represents a crucial opportunity for world leaders to reaffirm their commitment to tackling this crisis. The hope is that this will result in concrete actions, including a global target to reduce AMR deaths by 10% by 2030. International collaboration is essential in several areas. Surveillance systems need to be strengthened to track the emergence and spread of resistant pathogens globally. Research efforts should be coordinated to avoid duplication and accelerate progress. Best practices in antibiotic stewardship and infection control need to be shared widely. And crucially, efforts must be made to ensure that both existing and new antibiotics are accessible to those who need them most, regardless of where they live. The role of technology in combating AMR should not be overlooked. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are being employed to accelerate drug discovery and predict the emergence of resistance. Rapid diagnostic tests are being developed to quickly identify bacterial infections and their susceptibility to antibiotics, allowing for more targeted treatment. These technological advancements could play a crucial role in our fight against superbugs. Education and awareness are also key components in the battle against AMR. From medical schools to community health workers, there needs to be a concerted effort to improve understanding of AMR and promote responsible antibiotic use. Public awareness campaigns can help individuals understand their role in preserving antibiotic effectiveness. As we stand at this critical juncture, the choices we make now will determine the future of human health for generations to come. The rise of superbugs is not just a medical issue, but a complex, multifaceted challenge that touches on economics, agriculture, environment, and global development. It requires a One Health approach that recognizes the interconnectedness of human, animal, and environmental health. The forecast of 40 million deaths by 2050 is a wake-up call, a stark reminder of what's at stake if we fail to act. But it's also an opportunity, a chance to come together as a global community, to innovate, to change practices, and to forge a future where antibiotics remain a powerful tool in our medical arsenal. The superbugs may be evolving, but so too must our response. The race is on, and the future of medicine hangs in the balance. Now it's time to hear from you. How has the threat of antibiotic resistance affected your life or the lives of those around you? Have you or someone you know experienced a drug-resistant infection? Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below.